What's up, squad? It's your squid. I'm back down here at Thelmere Lakes and I want to talk to you about Australia Day, right? As an Australian, so let's get into it. I should start off by saying I like the concept, you know. I do believe there's a difference between patriotism and nationalism, and I think patriots should be allowed to exist, and contextually that they get bungled in with nationalists a lot, and I think that's unfair, you know. Like, I've done a lot of travelling. Anyone who knows me knows I've done a lot of travelling. I mean, I lived in America for 5 years, but I've been to various African countries, various Asian countries, various European countries. Like, I grew up in Australia and I live in Australia now, but I've spent a significant portion of my life overseas as well. And I don't think it's wrong or morally, like, I don't think there's anything morally at issue with recognising the country you are in or from as something that aligns with your values and being happy that that is the case, you know? I think Australia in particular has a lot to be proud of on a global scale, globally, like within a global context, you know what I mean? You know, like our minimum wage is one of the highest in the world. We have universal health care, we have gun control, and it's our centre. Our political centre believes in gun control and universal health care, and like, it's literally just the whack job loonies on the right that don't, and they get dismissed whenever they bring either like anything up to address, you know, to take away gun control or universal healthcare. It becomes a huge political football that everyone from the left and the right, other than the whack jobs, unify on, you know. Like, we believe in universal healthcare, we believe in gun control, we believe in free public education. One of our political parties at the moment, like the third biggest one probably, or fourth biggest one if you count the Nationals as their own, which I don't, because it's the coalition, you know, Liberals and Nationals, but I suppose the Nationals would be bigger than the Greens, like, technically, I guess, I don't know. But anyway, the Greens have got a policy at the minute put forward to not even allow voluntary fees for public schools, like, not even allow ones that you just not allow parents to pay fees at all. And, you know, I think that's a pretty good idea, quite personally, but we don't have to get into the weeds of that specifically, you know what I mean? But that being said, you know, like public education, public health care, public gun control, there are a lot of things that Australia, in my view, does best practice in the world, you know, we're leading the world on. And I don't think it is xenophobic to say, fuck yeah, I am proud of us for that. But that being said, I'm 33, right? So I came up during the era where the Cronulla riots happened. And like, it is a fact that there is a, like, almost caricature level of an Australian that is going to be celebrating tomorrow about Australia Day, and they're going to be wearing, like, draped in a polyester plastic flag made in China, like, and like the jingoism of that is not something that I think real patriots or people who would want to celebrate Australia Day actually vibe with, you know what I mean? Like, the piss up, let's go and have a barbie, like, have a barbie with your mates, have a piss up by all means, but like, being a public nuisance in celebration of the country you're from is not patriotism in my mind, you know what I mean? And so it's like, that's not the vibe I want to go with. But I also recognise that there's a lot of people who, like, they can't separate patriotism from nationalism, and they just want to shit on the country and be like, white men this, fucking, you know, colonialism that, and like, that can be frustrating as well, because, you know, I'm not going to bring up Saudi fucking Arabia. They're the, you know, that's almost reached Godwin's law level of, like, when you bring them up sort of thing. But there are many countries in the on Earth that you would fucking hate to be in. Not just be born in, but like, even just have to walk through, you know what I mean? And so I think there is a middle ground, and there's room to celebrate Australia and being Australian and what that means, and have a cultural collective celebration. However, I think if we picked a different day, it'd be fucking ideal. Because, like, the 26th of January is a bit of a shit day for it, given the context. Like, I'm genuinely not trying to be a bleeding heart or anything, right? And you could make the argument that the 26th of January commemorates the Rum Rebellion, which was fucking phenomenal. Or you could make the argument that, like, it's not even about, like, it's a unity thing, you know? Like, the country started to become our country and what it is today when the colony was founded. But that's pretty nonsensical as well, because they never had any, like, Arthur Phillip didn't think there was going to be a country here. He thought it would be a penal colony. You know what I mean? So there's no harken back to that or whatever. And we can't do the 1st of January, which is when we became a country, because that's already a public holiday, and we don't want to lose a public holiday either. But Aboriginal Australians have been very, very clear. There's not 100% consensus, but there's not 100% consensus on anything. The number's high enough that it is, like, very clear. It's in the 80s or 90% wise of Aboriginal people surveyed don't like it being on the 26th of January. Because ostensibly that commemorates the day that Arthur Phillip and the First Fleet arrived. They didn't. They arrived a couple of days beforehand to a shitty part of the area, and in typical English fashion went, well, it is a bit shit, but maybe if we went round the corner a bit it would be all right. And they were right. And you know, like, so the dates don't even align anyway. Personally, I think May 8 would be a better day, because mate, you know, like, we could make so many cool, imagine the Sam Kekovich lamb ads on mate, you know what I mean? Like, but mate, you know, like, just like, it writes itself. Anyway, I'm running out of room on my phone at the minute, memory wise, so I'll wrap this video up. But the point of it basically is, I'm sure I'm not the only one in Australia that wants to celebrate Australia Day because he's proud of the country that he's from and that we're in, and for all the reasons one would celebrate their country. But I feel like I can't, because the truest Australians, the oldest living cultures on the planet, the people who have been on the landmass we know as Australia the longest, they don't fuck with that date. And so I think it's disrespectful to celebrate on a day that they're mourning. And so I don't. But I feel like I'm missing out, because Australia fucking rocks, and we should be able to have a day to celebrate. You know what I mean? And I think that all of us could be happy if maybe we picked Eddie Marbo's birthday or something. And I mean, it wouldn't even have to be a different date, you know? Most of the time it could still fall on Australia Day. If we just, instead of making it the 26th of January, we said the last weekend in January. You know, it'd still fall on that time all the time. But it wouldn't be as objectively offensive to the Aboriginal people, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think we could try harder to have a unifying day, and I'd like us to, you know, in short. Anyway, tell me what you think about Australia Day. Am I overthinking it? Am I underthinking it? Oh, we might be getting a dirt bike about to go past here. Let me get in a good spot. Let me get in a good spot. They're coming back this way, or they're going that way? Let's see. I think I just missed them at the intersection. Yeah, they're down there. They turned. That's annoying. Still, fun for them. Absolute fun. Good day for it. But yeah, anyway, I think weekends like this would work out well. You know, it's the last weekend of January. The public holiday's on the 27th, not the 26th. I think we're close to figuring it out as a nation. And I had hoped Albo would be the guy for these middling sort of issues, you know, but he's been somewhat disappointing as a Prime Minister. Nonetheless, I think you should vote for him come the election in May, and I will be talking about that in the lead up to it. So, yeah, there's going to be an election at some point before May, and I think stuff like this, culture war issues, are where Peter Dutton's going to want to win the game, you know? So, I'm going to be very vocal about culture war issues when they're spoken about, and yeah, one of them is Australia Day, and I think the concept of Australia Day is really cool, and I vibe with it, and I think we should have it. But I think like some tweaks are necessary. So let me know what you know in the comments section. Let me know what you think as well, not just know. And I'll see you when I'm looking at you. These guys are my patrons. I like money. Consider giving me some money if you want. You don't have to. You've already given me some ad reviews and whatnot. But yeah, these guys are my patrons. I like money. Turning some of yours into mine on a monthly basis would be ideal. I'll see you when I look at you.